Who's actually going to get the most out of a manual high-lift jack, and who should just keep scrolling? If you're wondering whether the Wesco 27275-4 model TSHL27 is the right fit for your garage, a DIY enthusiast, or a small business that moves pallets occasionally, you're not alone. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. The hesitation most people feel isn't about the price tag, it's about whether a telescoping manual lift can really replace a traditional floor jack without turning a simple oil change into a headache. Let's start with the situation that drives the decision. Imagine you have a mid-sized sedan that you service yourself once a month, and you also need to lift a few garden tractors and a small trailer now and then. You've probably bought a cheap, low-profile jack before, only to discover it can't clear the tire's clearance or it wobbles on uneven pavement. That's the exact moment where a high-lift design promises a solution: more height, more reach, and the ability to work on a wider range of vehicles. The Wesco TSHL27 promises a telescoping column that extends higher than a standard floor jack, and it adds a set of Moldon polyurethane wheels with a 180-degree steering arc. Those wheels sound like a small detail, but they're the thing that lets you roll the unit into a tight garage corner or maneuver it around a workbench without scratching concrete. So who should actually buy this? First, anyone who runs a modest home workshop and needs a single jack that can handle both passenger cars and light trucks will find the TSHL27 a solid compromise. The telescoping action means you can lift a vehicle just enough to change a tire, then keep climbing to gain clearance for brake work, without swapping tools. If you also have a small fleet of equipment, say, a couple of motorbikes, a lawn mower, or a utility trailer, this jack can become the go-to lift because the polyurethane wheels roll smoothly on both concrete and asphalt, and the 180-degree steering gives you the flexibility to position it exactly where you need it. On the flip side, if you're a professional mechanic who needs to lift heavy SUVs or trucks night after night, you might skip this model. The Wesco is a manual pump, which means you'll be cranking the handle for each lift. For a shop that does dozens of lifts per day, that extra effort adds up, and you'll probably prefer a hydraulic floor jack with a larger pump capacity and a faster lift speed. Likewise, if you're looking for a jack that can handle 10-ton loads or more, the TSHL27 isn't designed for that class of work. The warranty is limited to a 1-year pump guarantee, which is reasonable for a consumer-grade unit, but signals that this isn't a heavy-duty, commercial-grade product. Now, let's talk about the practical strengths that matter after the box is opened. The first thing you notice is the smoothness of the telescoping column. Unlike some cheap high-lift jacks that feel stiff and require a lot of force to start moving, the Wesco's column slides out with a modest amount of effort, and the pump feels well-matched to the lift range. In real-world use, that means you can raise a car from ground level to a comfortable working height in a handful of strokes, even if you're working on a cold morning and your fingers are a bit stiff. The Moldon polyurethane wheels are another unexpected win. They're softer than steel wheels, so they won't damage garage floors, and they roll quietly, which is a nice touch if you're working on a house with thin walls or early in the morning. The 180-degree steering arc is a design choice that pays off when you're trying to position the jack under a wheel that's close to a wall or a curb. Many jacks only turn a fraction of that, forcing you to slide the entire unit into place and risk damaging the tire. With this model, you can angle the jack almost sideways, then swing it into the perfect spot without lifting the vehicle again. It's a small ergonomic improvement, but after a few lifts you'll appreciate that extra freedom. Every product has its trade-offs, and the TSHL27 is no exception. The biggest practical weakness is the manual pump speed compared to electric or hydraulic floor jacks. If you're in a hurry, you'll notice the difference in how quickly you can get a vehicle to the desired height. The pump also requires you to maintain a steady rhythm. If you pause too long, the pressure drops and you have to start over. Another consideration is the weight of the unit. Because it's built to be a high lift, the chassis is a bit heavier than a low-profile floor jack, which can be a downside if you need to carry it up and down stairs regularly. The polyurethane wheels, while gentle on floors, don't handle rough outdoor terrain as well as steel wheels. If you plan to use the jack on a gravel driveway, you might find the wheels slipping a bit. What about value for